What a great finish to a wild card weekend. Maurice Jones-Drew, part of the Los Angeles radio broadcast team, and then, of course, a compadre of mine from NFL Network, NFL Media Group. Good to see you here, sir, MJD.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rich.
What'd you think of when you saw that, man?
It was weird because I really felt like Nick Foles. It was kind of like the whole Tebow thing. Remember back in the day, I would watch you guys on Game Day Final, and you'd be like, oh, no.
Tebow, right?
It's Nick Foles, but it just don't have the same rhyme. I just felt like
I don't know what
there's just some belief. There's some system that is something in the universe that has the Eagles are destined to make a run, and it happens all the time.
Belief is very powerful, and as I said at the top of the show, belief and hope is a powerful mix when combined also with a destined feeling.
Well, you've already done it before too, right? They've already been through this path, so it's scary. I mean, when we were picking the games, I was like, there's no reason for me to pick the Eagles, but I'm just picking them because I'm not going to look like a fool twice.
You lone wolfed him. I thought about pulling the trigger on it too, but I just thought about how the Bears are making everybody look ridiculous at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Was it the RPO just slowing down the rush, or the fact that they were able to send two tight ends? By the way, how about my X Factor, Dallas Goedert?
I like that one. I was thinking about that when I saw it.
On top of the X Factor, scored a touchdown. He also had a huge conversion on that last final drive. What was it that the Eagles were able to do that other teams have not been able to do against the Bears defense, do you think?
They have two tackles that were pretty much handling Khalil Mack early in the game, and then Khalil got going later, but they, after it kind of settled in, they ran the ball well. They were mixing up their play calls, and Nick Foles just threw to the open person. Now he made two mistakes, which a pick in the red zone where you could have probably went up 6-3, then the Bears go back. But then we have to talk about that Philly defense that shut down that Bears offense. I mean, they made some big stops and had some chance where they can make some big time plays and drop some picks. But at the end of the day, I've never seen a team, they were flying around from Philly, making huge stops and crucial stops in crucial situations. And that's what kind of changed the game for them.
And so have you ever been in a situation where your kicker had that happen to him? And obviously Trayvon Hester, both, Chris Long was on Twitter, and you can see maybe.
Yeah, it looked like
it looks like he didn't tip it, so it's not like Parkey just yanked it.
Right.
What do you say to a kicker in a situation like that?
I play with the great Josh Scobie, so we had he made a lot of field goals for us in some tough times. But anytime guys have had bad games, and I think Reggie Wayne said it best on Twitter. Like, I'd be the first guy to say, like, here, meet me at the bar. Here goes the address. Let's sit down and have a drink or two, and because it's not his fault. Like, things happen in this game. He made so many field goals before this. He scored more points than their offense scored, right? So he put you in position to be successful, and it's not his fault that the ball got tipped. He kicked the ball perfect. He hit it just like he hit the first one, I felt like, and, it just didn't happen.
What a game that was.
There it goes.
What an absolute game. We're looking at sure looked like there was a tip. His fingers moved. Maurice Jones-Drew here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, let me ask you your 2 cents on the decision John Harbaugh had during the game yesterday with the Chargers just putting the bang thing on Lamar Jackson. Would you have gone to Joe Flacco in that game?
Not at all. Two reasons. One, when Joe was the starting quarterback, we were horrible, and we weren't playing well. We were losing games, and then he gets hurt, and Lamar brings us to the playoffs. And then two, we're trying to trade him at the end of the year, and it's a bigger picture that you have to look at in certain situations. I know a lot of people say, like, you have to win now and you have to do this, but you've already come out multiple weeks in advance saying Lamar is our quarterback and Joe's not playing anymore. What kind of sign are you telling your team when the first sign of struggle, you pull them out and try to put someone else in? We haven't seen that with anyone else. And there's so many quarterbacks that struggled this week and weeks before this. So I wouldn't have done it. And at the end of the day, their game plan was so simple. And this is the other thing people have to think about. I actually talked about this with a couple of our colleagues at the NFL Network, is that all week you put in a specific game plan for Lamar. And Joe wasn't a part of that. Joe's not running the read option, and Joe's not doing any of that. So to come out and try to stick him in and run a different offense, it's going to be so tough to do because your players have practiced all week on a certain offense, and then you want them to flip the switch and go somewhere else, you'll have more mistakes.
But they already had a whole half of a season under that offense, right? So it's not like – isn't it like riding a bike, though? I mean, you can just say, hey, we're going back to the old offense. Here we go.
Not necessarily, because you've changed the way you block. You've changed the way, with the read option, you're letting one guy free all the time. with a regular pro style offense, you're not letting guys through. You're blocking everyone, so you'll have mental mistakes there. I think with some of the route combinations, it may work, but at the same time, I really don't think it was Lamar that was the issue. He got sacked 7 times, and those sacks weren't like he was holding the ball forever. I mean, they were getting pressure up the middle. I got a chance to speak with Gus Bradley after the game, and
what do you say?
He was like, we wanted to stop the run early, and then we wanted to put our best pass rushers inside to affect the young quarterback as quick as possible.
The defensive coordinator of the Chargers, former Jaguars head coach, is that different than what they did Week 16?
No question. They had Week 16, they had both their guys outside, and they were trying to force Lamar to step up into the pocket to their rush. But this time they put their bigger guys outside to keep him in the pocket, and then they put their speed guys inside to go after their guards, and they had success. So it was a good game plan. You know, there's some games where I think we've all played golf where there's some days we shoot in the low 80s. There's some days we shoot in the 120s. It is what it is.
Yeah, but if we shoot in the 120s, we're still allowed back on the golf course later on for another 18, even that day if we want to. In the playoffs, you're done.
Do you go back after the 120 though?
Probably not, but I'm going to push back on you on this, Maurice Jones-Drew, even though I agree with you. Because there's a ton of people like you, Brockman, out there that think that Harbaugh was derelict of duty by not trying to win right then and there, correct?
I think so, yeah.
So wouldn't putting Flacco in also create havoc for Gus Bradley's defense, having to try and switch up the way that they've practiced all week long?
No, I mean, I think, again, you're still going to continue to do what you're doing. You know, the run plays are going to always be the run plays. I think when Lamar Jackson in there, you have to key him. But when Joe's in there, all right, we're not worried about the quarterback running anymore. We just go back to let's just stop the run, whoever is Gus Bradley or not Gus Bradley, Gus Edwards or Kenneth Dixon, and we could key on those guys. It makes it a little easier for them. Because remember, defense is all reaction, right? Defense is always, we're going to see the ball, go get ball. Where offense, you have to make sure that everyone's taking the right steps. Everyone's, doing the right routes. Lamar throws a different ball than Joe Flacco, so that's going to be different to wide receivers and tight ends. And it's a lot of little things that I really feel like people don't understand. But again, I understand. I understand why people would say go back to Joe Flacco. I firmly didn't believe Joe Flacco was that good in the very beginning, so I don't know what he would have done in this situation to kind of change what was going on.
Maurice Jones-Drew here on the Rich Eisen Show. You were in the green room for the opening of the program. What'd you think of my so-called take that Jason Garrett doesn't get the credit he deserves for the way the Cowboys are playing?
Yeah, again, because, you have to understand, Jerry Jones is going to get everything, right? Because he's the GM, he's the owner, he's the Dallas Cowboys. And so Jason Garrett definitely deserves some credit. One, for, keeping that team together through some situations where everyone from the outside was like, they should be tanking right now, it's over.
Especially since I imagine if you put blood in the water that the coach might be fired, then the locker room can turn.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job with that. And then I think there was a lot of times where throughout the season we didn't see Dak Prescott use his legs. Everyone was like, let him run. Right. And then 3rd and 14, you have the fortitude to call a quarterback draw, and he takes it almost to the end zone. That's something that we haven't seen, and they used that multiple times. They did a quarterback sweep one time. So they're being more creative in certain situations, and it really comes down to that Week 16 game where they did the risk-reward, keeping them in the whole time and resting their offensive line and Zeke, and then him having the confidence after pulling that out. And you saw it this weekend.
So now you seeing the way the Cowboys played, again, the only home team, only division winner to win this weekend. All that said, I'm looking at you now as a Rams analyst being around this team. Your choice for a divisional opponent is A, a Seattle team that you'd have to beat for a 3rd time.
Right.
B, a team in the Bears that put the bang thing on you, albeit in Chicago in a cold weather situation, and have to try and beat them. Or C, a Cowboys team that's coming in, you've not seen them, they haven't seen you. They got the team they wanted, right? If you give them in a quiet moment,
I think they'd probably be more comfortable playing Seattle again because you know them, and
really, you even having to beat him a 3rd time.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. Once you beat a team twice, you kind of more confident going in. I do remember this though. Last year, going to Dallas with the Rams and playing that game in Dallas, which the teams are similar. They're a little different, but not too much. But
you sound like Jerry Jones there, by the way.
What I'm saying,
Jerry's
like both, not similar. Like they look like each other. They play like, both teams are the same from last year. So the Dallas Cowboys are the same. The Rams are the same. But there came a time in that game in the second half that they had to stop the run because Ezekiel was just running all over them, and they buckled down. They did it, And then the offense got going. They were able to make a run and win that game in Dallas, which was huge. I think the players that were there still have that confidence that they can do that, but they have to stop the run. This is the playoffs. You can't allow a team to run for 150, 200 yards in a game and expect to win. And it's going to be tough for that offense as well. I know you. I saw it earlier. You're going to talk to Big Whitworth here, and he'll talk about. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, their defensive line, they do a phenomenal job of getting to the ball and getting pressure. You have some fast linebackers that can run around. But I think the addition of C.J. Anderson is going to kind of be a big deal for this Rams offense, because Todd Gurley is such a home run hitter, long strider, phenomenal back out of the backfield, but they need that guy that can just get you the tough 2 or 3, and I think that's where C.J. Anderson comes in.
What a fascinating matchup this is, from the fact that there's Wade Phillips, who was bounced for Jason Garrett.
Was it that was long ago?
That's a long time ago. Yeah, Jason Garrett was an interim coach before getting the gig because they fired Wade in the middle of the season. There's Wade Phillips now on the other sideline trying to coordinate the defense against this offense that Jerry Jones said, much to everyone's enjoyment earlier this year, before Amari Cooper came on, like, hey, we've got Tavon, we've got ourselves a young quarterback, and Dak, we've got ourselves a running back that's kind of a bell cow that can do everything like Todd Gurley. We're not too far off from the Los Angeles Rams. Everybody made fun of him. And now here they come with Amari Cooper. That's different from last year now.
It is. That's the big difference. That's the big difference is Amari Cooper. Then also having Tavon, because Tavon was in this system for 2 years, so he understands what kind of the plays they like to do. So you're going to have a double agent in that situation, which is always good.
You nervous?
No, I don't play anymore. I just call it games.
Hold on a second then. Are you concerned?
I'm always concerned in the playoffs because it's only one game. This isn't the NBA. This isn't the MLB where you have a series of games. It's only one game, so you have to be on your game the whole time. That's why it's so fun and fascinating to see this. But I'm always concerned. Never nervous, always concerned, though, because you want to make sure, being a part of this organization and being a part of this team and being able to kind of voice what's going on throughout their journey. If you're not on your A game come Saturday night, it's a problem.
Ask the poll question of Maurice Jones-Drew, Chris Brockman, despite your workspace falling apart around you right there. Okay, what do you got?
Which home team in the divisional round, home team this weekend, in the most trouble, MJD? Patriots, Chiefs, Rams, Saints.
That's it. Because I'm scared of the Colts, too. I'm terrified of the Colts.
Both 6 seeds, huh?
I am both. It's just, I don't know what it is.
What scares you about the Colts?
They can score with anybody, and they can run the ball. And their offensive line is right now, I feel like, is playing the best out of any offensive line in the National Football League. And then your defense, there's some guys we don't know their names and they're not household names, but they're making plays. You go into Houston and blank them pretty much until the fourth quarter. I mean,
Lamar Miller disappeared. Just absolutely disappeared. And that's exactly what, Deshaun Watson leading the team in rushing.
Yeah.
Sitting back there like a sitting duck when you knew they had to throw it down 21-0. That thing was a wrap pretty much. Brockman, you tweeted out this is going to be a 3-score game. I told you to pace yourself.
And
then 5 minutes later, after they picked off Deshaun Watson, I'm like, okay, you can pick up the pace a little bit on your take.
Well, the other thing is, it was something they did in the playoff game, which I call a playoff game, the Week 17 game against the Titans, where they went on 2 80-yard drives or something like that, right? It was 2 long drives back to back.
The Colts.
Right. That, to me, is the scariest thing you can see, because I'd rather have a quick strike offense, because if they stumble, then they feel the pressure. The Colts will never feel pressure because they're comfortable being methodical, going downfield, getting the 3, 4, 5 tough yards, and then being able to, score in the red zone. And we talked about that on air. Scoring in the red zone is huge, and I want to say they're 5th in the National Football League in scoring in the red zone, because again, field goals aren't going to help you.
Yep.
And we saw the Houston Texans get stuck in the red zone, and they went for it a couple of times instead of kicking a field goal, which, again, I understand, but you have to score touchdowns, and that's what they do well.
And you shorted him a couple yards.
Yeah,
huh?
you shorted him. They were actually 2 90-yard drives.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There you have it. I knew it was something crazy.
It's even crazier. Yeah. So I let you talk it out like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire contestant, but I need an answer. Which team is in the most trouble this coming up weekend, in your best opinion, Maurice Jones-Drew?
I'm going to say the Patriots.
Okay. Why is that?
We had a conversation in the back, and I really appreciate his confidence as a Patriots fan, but I do have to say this. The Chargers play phenomenal on the road. And they've been in some tough games, some tough situations. And again, the Patriots they're back, right? They found a way, but they've stumbled along the way. And they're running the ball well. Can they continue to run the ball well against this team that's done a great job stopping the run? And Phillip Rivers, and I just think Phillip Rivers, those guys, they're excited to play, man. They think this is their year.
5 inches of snow hit the ground. Does that change your opinion? Because that's the forecast for Sunday's divisional Sunday kickoff that we're taking everyone up to kickoff to on game day morning.
Yeah. No, I'm not concerned at all because they're going to run the ball. And I think even if Melvin Gordon's banged up, they have Justin Jackson, who I talked about.
As your X factor.
Yeah, and he didn't play, which...
It's all right.
But it may be for the divisional round. I don't know.
You can't get all your X factors right like I did yesterday.
Right, exactly. Maurice. But I think they have enough backs, and their offensive line, they do a really good job of going forward. And you have a veteran quarterback. And so it's going to be exciting to see because the last time I want to say the Chargers went to Foxborough, either they beat them or it was a close game. Right?
I have that information right here. It was last season. It was week 8 of last season. Down by 8 points at the New England 23 with a second to go. Phillip threw an interception.
It was a close game.
But the Patriots outgained the Chargers through the air 300 some odd to 100 some odd, 190 some odd. But look, that's last year. This is this year. As you point out, it's a different Patriots team. But I just think it's the middle. I could just see Andrew Luck going into Kansas City, one and dunning the Chiefs as every single first-time quarterback in the playoffs. Yes, this weekend lost 0-3. Mahomes is a TBD. And they won and done him, and then all of a sudden New England gets the AFC Championship game in their house. And I can also see the Eagles going into New Orleans and winning that game, and the Rams get a home playoff game, as do maybe the Cowboys for the NFC Championship game.
Someone once said, or I think I was reading on Twitter, there's an opportunity if the Chargers go into Foxborough and win, Colts beat the Chiefs, you have a championship game here in L.A. And then if the Rams happen and the Eagles, you have 2 in L.A. And that would be crazy.
I have heard, though, that the league, if that happened, if it ever happened in the same stadium, they would move it to Monday. They'd move one of the games to Monday. They'd have a Sunday and a Monday championship game. I don't know if they'd do that because of, Carson and the downtown Los Angeles area are so far apart that you'd be able to maybe logistically pull it off. But it's possible that Los Angeles is your home to championship Sunday. I mean, it's absolutely feasible. It's wide open. It's so exciting how wide open it is.
That would be
okay, awesome. So I'll say hi to Andrew Whitworth for you when he calls at the top of the next hour.
Same draft class, too.
As you?
Yeah. He was drafted a couple, I want to say like 10 spots before me.
Oh, so does that mean he wore number 22?
No,
because he was in the is that?
Oh, I wore 32 because all 32 teams passed him.
Right.
So he should be wearing 32 as well.
Okay, good to see you, MJD.
Good to see you as well.
You bet. Great job this weekend too. It was fun hanging with you, and I hope to see you. Are you on the air next Sunday too?
I have to talk to the producers. Hopefully, Richard. Hopefully, Richard is a cow. Let me come back, but and I thought I won the XO.
Showdown?
It was like the little cheap shot at the end dropped me.
It's kind of like wrestling. The people in charge decide who wins. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Andrew Whitworth, 5th overall pick. Maurice, you were 60th.
There you go.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.